What on earth is going on with the New York Mets, as all Mets fans have been proven completely right on their recent thoughts on everyone in this front office. And now, where the Mets stand, they have no choice but to go out there and spend big money on multiple different players after what has been one of the most disastrous off seasons in Mets history. Right after the season that they signed Juan Soto to a $765 million contract, the Mets have done nothing this offseason except make mistakes and errors and ruin the hearts of Mets fans and make it look like this team has zero, and I mean zero, interest in competing next season. We're going to go over everything right now, though I have a feeling you know what this video is about based off the recent news and also what the thumbnail of this video looks like. But if you haven't heard, guys, we are about to tell you. But real quick, if you are interested in subscribing to Mets Digest and you're part of that 70% that's not subscribed, make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Mets update. We got videos coming out every single day covering the Mets, bringing you all the latest news, rumor reports, and everything else on the Mets. But we all know the deal with that, guys. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and hide it. We know what happened. It's not a big secret on what just went down with the New York Mets, considering it's all over the news, literally everywhere, as first baseman Pete Alonso and the Baltimore Orioles are finalizing a 5-year, $155 million contract, according to Jeff Passan. Alonso leaves the Mets to make a loaded AL East even better. As Passan said, Pete Alonso's deal with the Orioles gives him the highest average annual value ever for a first baseman. He winds up with $185 million, including his $30 million salary last year, and followed the same track that Matt Chapman and Blake Snell did, taking a short-term deal and turning it into a bounty. You read that right. You heard that right. That is all correct. Pete Alonso, the all-time New York Mets home run leader, the heart and soul of this team like nobody else, the man who shocked the world when he hit a home run off Devin Williams to not only give the Mets a beautiful run that almost saw them take down the Los Angeles Dodgers before they won the 2024 World Series, and also shook up Devin Williams' career, who's, by the way, on the Mets now after a 4-point-some-odd ERA last season, has left the New York Mets for the Baltimore Orioles. The Mets have now lost Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz in the last 48 hours, and Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, and Brandon Nimmo in the last 2 weeks. We have seen a monumental shift for the New York Mets over the past couple of days for this team. Things look absolutely atrocious for the Mets right now as they've made no big signings whatsoever. I mean, their biggest move was trading Nimmo for Marcus Semien, and then their biggest signing damn well might be Carl Edwards Jr. This has been an absolute malpractice of a run by the Mets front office, and also you start to wonder, what the hell are we even doing here with Steve Cohen as the owner, the richest owner in baseball? Why has he not done something about this? When they signed Juan Soto, there was a question, well, there's still pitching that's a need, and then, Clay Holmes came in and is fine, but there was I wonder why there's not any more moves. I guess it's a lot of money to spend in one offseason. We'll see what further moves come. They have a lot of top pitching prospects, and Nolan McLean's excellent. But after that, there was a little questionable, but at the end of the day, we were all excited about Juan Soto. Now, we see the Mets have made absolutely no moves. David Stearns continues to manage this team like a small market ball club, while Steve Cohen looks more and more likely like his plan to buy the Mets was to stick a casino outside of Citi Field in Flushing and a resort so he can make a ton of real estate money instead of actually caring about whether the New York Mets win a game or not. That's what it feels like right now. Alonso, who had a .272 batting average, an .871 OPS, a .144 OPS plus, and 38 home runs last year, departs from the New York Mets after a career year. Alonso wanted a long-term deal with around a $30 million average annual value deal, and he gets it. Alonso will be getting paid by the Baltimore Orioles as he just turned 31 3 days ago. He gets paid until he's 36 years old by the Orioles. So an absolute massive win for Pete Alonso, who gets a big contract throughout the rest of his career and makes a ton of money off this situation. Now, look, obviously it was a lot of money and everything involved, and now the Mets will get their run prevention that they wanted so badly, as Mark Vientos is in line to be their starting first baseman next year. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's got a negative .2 WAR as of last year, at a .233 batting average and a .702 OPS. Vientos is a below-average offensive player and now steps in at first base, a position where you don't really need that good of fielding anyway. But David Stearns is like, no, well, we need run prevention, so Mark Vientos works better. Screw 38 home runs. No, I don't need that. And, well, it was very clear this was going to happen, as Anthony DiComo revealed that the Mets never made a formal offer to Pete Alonso, as it became clear the bidding war was headed in places they weren't interested in going. Remember how last video I said I wanted to crack a beer before that? If I wasn't about to go to the gym right now and work out my frustrations and anger, I'd pause this video, or I might just leave it running because who cares anymore, and go to my fridge and crack that beer anyway. Truly. Truly, I would. I'm not saying I'd crack a Truly. Trulies are disgusting. White Claws are way better. And also, any other seltzer Trulies suck. Not the point, though. I'm just mad. Look, the deal is the Mets lose Pete Alonso. And it did make some sense, but as Chris Persianen did mention, if Edwin Diaz didn't let the Mets improve upon their first offer, you have to live with that. Wouldn't want to give Pete Alonso that contract either, but as of right now, the Mets have lost two major players and gained a pseudo-replacement for one of them. It's Bellinger/Tucker time. Now, here's the thing. Here is what has to happen next, because at the end of the day, we can be as angry as we want. It's not going to fix anything. Right now, the Mets have never needed Kodai Bellinger more. He gives them a bat who was very solid last year, had an over 80, or had an over 800 OPS. Thank God it was over 80. And had a good year with the Yankees as well. He gets on base really well, is one of the best fielding outfielders in the MLB, can step in at first base as well if you need him there, though he makes way more sense in the outfield if you're going to pay him big money. And on top of that, you get to just kind of screw over the Yankees out of anger anyway. So it all kind of works out perfectly when Bellinger, if the Mets just decide let's overpay Bellinger, it's a panic move, but it depends. Does Steve Cohen care enough to pay that much money for Kodai Bellinger? Is that a real thing? Do the Mets say, screw it, we need Kyle Tucker, he hits more home runs, and we frankly need a home run hitter, because now the only power bat in this entire lineup is literally Juan Soto. Is there any contact in this? Not really. There's not much. So right now, the Mets are in dire straits. They don't look like a competitive team whatsoever. They look like a team that's owned by a very rich man who wanted to build a casino outside the Mets Stadium, because outside of Citi Field is absolutely nothing but a train and a couple guys with coolers selling you tall boys. Because of that, those cooler guys make a ton of money. Good for them. I respect it. But at the same time, here's the issue with that problem. The Mets, they saw an opportunity here. But by the Mets, I mean Steve Cohen saw an opportunity here. What if I build a big flashy casino that, first of all, I'm totally going to go to. I don't know why I'm pretending like I'm not going to. I'm going to go. And right outside of Met Stadium, so people can stay at hotels right there. It also works really well for the U.S. Open as well, so I make a ton of money off that casino resort. Also, it's a casino, so I'm obviously going to make money off it. And then bing, bang, boom, I'm making a ton of real estate money. Oh, the Mets are bad? I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the casino that's making me just as much money, and the revenue I'm still gaining because people go and stay at this casino because, like, oh, yeah, let's stay at a casino. Then we don't have to stay in the middle of Manhattan. It could be easier. We can take the train in for some days. No, we're right next to the Mets game. Let's go to a Mets game anyway and just see what the field's like. Boom, it doesn't matter if the Mets put out a successful product. It doesn't matter, and I don't think Steve Cohen cares. He has his big flashy name player in Juan Soto to hit some home runs and to be a big name in baseball and basically just be their commanding leader of a bad team that's very mid. Or a mid team, I should say. So when we look at that, that is what it feels like is going on right now from a genuine sense. Now, if the Mets are serious about this, they've lost Alonso, they need to do something about it. You sign Kodai Bellinger. Bellinger just had a good season. And then you find your first baseman in Munetaka Murakami. You go out there and say, hey, I know you want to go to the Dodgers and everything. What are the Dodgers paying you? We'll give you $10 million more on average annual value every year. Oh, the Dodgers are offering you a 7-year, $300 million contract. Cool, we'll go 370. We'll give you 7 years, 370. We'll give you 7 years, 400. I'm Steve Cohen. I can afford it. I'm going to pay you because we just didn't pay two guys who everyone expected us to pay. So technically, we got money to spend anyway. Muna, come to the team. Let's also add one of Tucker or Bellinger. Let's also now trade for a pitcher who's really good because screw it, we want to win. But that's the question. Do the Mets really want to win, or do they want to make money on this team? Is that why David Stearns is the GM? Is that why Steve Cohen likes Stearns as the GM? He'll operate like a small market general manager because he's good at being a small market general manager. He'll operate like that, like he did with Milwaukee. And then the Mets' payroll gets to be a bit lower than it was. Cohen gets to make more money on building his casino and then eventually getting that return on investment for his casino, where he makes so much damn real estate money, he doesn't care about winning. This is what sports business has turned into. This is what ownership has turned into. It's no longer, well, I really like this team, so I'm going to buy them because I am a multi-billionaire. Now it is, well, I can make a ton of real estate off this. Mark Cuban said that's why he sold the majority of his Mavericks shares, because it's not about loving a team anymore. It's not about wanting to be the owner of a sports team. It's about real estate investment opportunities and trying to build around that stadium so you can add more stuff and make more money in the long term. It's become a business move more than anything else, and it's always been a business move, but now it's just pure that. It's pure business, and it feels like for Steve Cohen, it's just pure, I am super, 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 super rich, that I could probably give a good share of, I could give every Mets fan $1 million and say you still care about Pete Alonso leaving and still be richer than basically everyone else on the planet, and then get to laugh my way to the bank with my casino money that those idiot Mets fans are about to go and blow that $1 million I gave them on a hand of roulette when they bet on green for some reason, because after all, screw it. I've duped them once, I'll dupe them again, because it feels like Mets fans just got duped by Steve Cohen. I understand it was a lot of money for Alonso. I understand the risks. I was a little shaky on the deal, but losing Diaz, losing Alonso, losing the soul of this team between Nimmo as well, it just, and with no big-time signings, the Mets have to turn this around. I thought my ring light was about to fall. The Mets have to turn this around, or it just feels like we got duped by a billionaire. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm absolutely furious at more than anyone, Steve Cohen. I mean, David Stearns, we know, is a dumpster diver. That's not new. Steve Cohen, what happened to caring, man? What happened? Show up. Show out. Be the guy you promised that you'd be. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, though that might be difficult. I'll catch you later.